Welcome to the Wall of Sound. I'm your host, Kate Rista, and today we are working on Sidekick Bakery. No, we're working on Flower Shop for Heroes. But what we got here is my main stage here, and Flower Shop for Heroes is over there. So I might end up pulling this over a little bit and readjusting the screen, but for now, here's what you see. You got Flower Shop for Heroes. I don't know why I'm talking in a producer voice, but there you go. We have been working on this la 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 chapter. As you can see, we're in progress. And if you are just here for the first time, I'll give you a quick overview. So, Flower Shop for Heroes, it's a story about Stariel. Stariel is the hero. He is the classic hero. He just wants to hero. That's what he does. So he goes up to the Gothic ruins to rescue the princess. But, oh no. Turns out the princess is actually the villain. Dun, dun, dun. She ties him up, leaves him to be eaten by some rainbow ooze, right? He eventually escapes the castle, frees some prisoners along the way, but the rainbow ooze is coming to destroy the fairy garden, because of course, right? So the thing that we're doing is cozy fantasy, and so what's making it a little bit cozier is every time we hit up against those big epic battle scenes, we are doing a couple of different things that you'll start to see and get used to as we go through here to soften things up a bit. So what we are doing today is actually editing out that sixth chapter, which is currently called La 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 La. So we're going to edit that out, make some changes, and then we'll see what we can do. We'll probably end up with a couple more things that need to be fixed by the end of the session today, because there's some that I usually have to go like this. And I try not to do that on screen with you too much, but you'll see what those are. But feel free at any point to hop in chat and give any suggestions and make any recommendations, and we'll see what we can do. So StoryLoom is interactive fiction, which means you build out the story as you go. So what you're going to see here is right behind the scenes what it looks like when you're building a story, plus some paint splatters. So I'm going to make a quick edit here so you can see it just a smidge better. But basically, as you build the story, you add in each piece you're possibly going to need. So if we need music, we have to add music. If we need a background, we have to add a background. If we need a character talking, we have to add that character. So you'll see how that works pretty shortly here. On our right side there, where you see the little StoryLoom guy, that is the preview screen that'll preview what we're doing as we're going along. I'm just moving it over a smidge so you can see this part a little bit better. So the interesting part about this is they just came out of beta with it. So there's some things that are still a little hiccupy, and some things that are like brand new. And one of those brand new things is the live view. And I actually like it because it allows you to see a little earlier what you're kind of doing and what's happening. You can see I'm just kind of shifting over my screen so you can see it a little bit better. And we will get going. So, and make sure I got everything that you can see. Yep. And I wonder, I do one thing here is just shrink my screen slightly so you can see this little guy here. That was a plus, that was not a minus. Yoink. And here we go. So you'll see over on the left side here, ding, ding, ding. On the left side, we have all of the different things that you can add along the way, and you'll see those going in as we need them. So starting at the top of the story, we have the fantasy ambiance playing in the background. Fantasy ambiance. And that's just a little bit of quiet background noise. You can see we added the background of the fairy garden. So then when we added in Stariel, we see Stariel's dialogue. So how I'm going to do this today is we're going to go through what we already wrote and make edits on the left side as we go. So over here I can preview gameplay. So I can preview what the people who are playing the story are going to see. Watch me drink coffee. That's iced coffee. Where's that coffee from? Oh, I'll remember. Nope. It's not there. It's going to come back to me. I'm a pretty big coffee fan, as you can tell. That's a cold brew, though, this morning. Which I got this cool blue bottle thing where you just put it in there and then you put it in for like 24 hours and it comes back amazing. But usually you have to have amazing coffee for it to be amazing. True story. All right, so when people first come into the story, this is what they see immediately. So let's see. The only thing I'm going to add here is you can preview and variable settings here. So we are going to do the entire chapter, and for the variables, we can say if he has shoes or not. The only thing that matters about if he has shoes is if he's been to the fairy garden before. So I'm going to click yes, so just so that we can double check that. So throughout the story, like people get to make different choices, right? And then the different choices impact later chapters. So in this case, the only choice that matters so far that they made previously in this particular chapter is if they had shoes or not. And you'll see why that matters. They also get to make a couple of other choices in this chapter too. So Stariel says, "We have to save the fairy garden," in his surprised look. Oh man, we already started out with something we gotta do. Come on. All right, so we gotta save the fairy garden. So what I was trying to do here is the ghost saying something that's apropos of a ghost. So I'm also just introducing the fact that the ghost is here for this, even as Stariel kind of like goes down into his own thing, right? So we have to save the fairy garden. Quick, the rainbow ooze. All I want to do is a bad rhyme of like something with ooze and booze, like rainbow ooze booze. I'm not giving any booze because here comes the rainbow ooze. Dun dun dun. Ding. Ooh. Ding. Quick, I'm not giving any booze because here comes the rainbow ooze. We might change that later. You know what you have to do. The path is clear. Well, it's actually rainbow ooze coming to consume the entire fairy garden and also life itself. We are capitalizing rainbow ooze. We might edit that later. There's a couple of things that you'll see. I like random capitalization. My editor does not. So, coming to consume the entire fairy garden and also life itself. The Venus flytrap you are holding. For example, I'm pretty sure that the editor changes this to Venus flytrap with one word. The Venus flytrap you are holding is actually getting quite heavy, not fake heavy, but you want to set it down. But there's rainbow ooze and focus, Stariel, focus. So he's getting distracted. You know what you have to do. You've been training for this since you were a kid. So we don't want to do the you know what you have to do again because we already did that, even though repetitive language is okay, like for that type of thing because you're trying to get him to focus, but not that repetitive. So let's do, come on. Cup me on. Come on, even. Come on. This is your moment. Boom. You've been training for this since you were a little kid. You've always been the hero, but now there is no one left to rescue. Let's say saving the world, rescuing the princess. Oh no, there's no one left to rescue. The princess is the villain, and we all know that Stariel is utterly devastated by this fact. That reveal comes in really hot, just so you know. So right down here, I actually have a sound effects of a reveal, so we might keep that, we might not. It comes in pretty big. Actually scared me last time it happened. If you watched yesterday's stream, when it came through, I was like, "Wah!" She doesn't need me anymore. No one needs me. I'm like a dead branch on a giant oak tree. No one will notice if I fall. No one will care. No one will hear me scream. It's a little morbid. I tried to figure out if there's like more of a flower type of reference I could do here. But I pretty much just had like the oak tree reference. Let's go with, instead of an oak tree, even though an oak tree is more massive and beautiful and gorgeous, let's go with like a type of Not a rose bush. What are those? This is where you like realize how I forget stuff all the time. I'm not thinking of azaleas, but what am I thinking of? Let's find out. Flower bush. Not peonies either. Let's see. Let's write types of flower bushes. This is called research. Types of flower bushes. Ding dook. Oh, rhododendron. There we go. That was literally exactly what I was thinking. We have a rhododendron that's been like super suffering out there because it gets like a little too much heat. I love forsythia as a side note. We have a lot of that in our front yard. Heading back to what I was actually supposed to be doing. So she doesn't need me anymore. No one needs me. I'm like a dead branch on a rhododendron. 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 No one will notice if I fall. No one will care. No one will hear me scream. Help me! Alright, so we might use that rhododendron again later, remember? Rhododendron. Rhododendron. I'm making ourselves a couple of notes to check ourselves, us together. I'm making these notes. Help me! No one can help me. I'm lost, dead weight, cut me down and burn me up. Please, someone help! The princess? He just assumes that anyone asking for help is always the princess, as a side note. No, you idiot, it's me, the flying cat. Let's see what his next line is. Our problem was I want to make him like slightly angry there, but his angry like is like way over angry. And that's his surprised. Maybe we'll just give him a default. You can't preview his default right now because we're in the middle of the other one. But we'll come back and double check that one. No, you idiot, it's me, the flying cat. So we have the rainbow ooze periodically coming in, by the way, as our background, because it's that idea that it's coming down to attack. So she used to call me idiot. Snap out of it! That's our scary ghost, by the way. Ah! Sorry. A little dramatic there. But the pink ooze, we called it galaxy dust, we're going to call it rainbow ooze. The rainbow ooze is going to destroy the garden, the fairy garden. So you see I have that, I'm fixing it over here. It's not previewing it, live preview right now because we're running the whole game. So in case you're wondering, if you've seen it before, we go through and edit it and it shows it as we're editing it. This is like a whole preview. So I'm trying to see what it looks like for the player. Oh no, thousands of years of magical vegetation will be like clean from the earth, like some political reference. Where's my political references? Okay. Thousands of years of magical vegetation will be like clean from the earth, like... We're going to come back for that one. Vile villain. Will you help us or no? I don't think he's still surprised. Let's make him angry. You'll get to see him angry in a second. It's funny. And so this is if they had shoes. In this case, oh, sorry. If they don't have shoes, they did not go to the fairy garden. So this is what it looks like if you don't have the fairy garden and if you did not go to the fairy garden. So if you've been here before, you see things like, wait a minute, I've been through the fairy garden before. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on the inept systems of government that have prevented blah, blah, blah. Are those beautiful balls of light going to sizzle my soul again? Soul. I seriously miss my shoes. Okay. But we skip past that. Those branches are joining again. If you do nothing, there will be no will-o'-the-wisps, no bluebells, no forest at all. What will you do? Let's go with a pull out your sword. You whip your sword from your scabbard. The ancient metal rings through the air. Okay, so we added a couple of thoughts in here that we wanted to fix, so let's do them. The ancient metal rings through the air. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to make this a big epic moment, right? You whip your sword from your scabbard. The ancient metal rings through the air. Let's see what else we got. Ancient metal rings through the air. The I don't want to say twang, but I'm going to say twang for right now. The sharp twang of sound is like the song of the centuries. Oh yeah, do something with the Phoenix Flytrap. We wrote that for ourselves. So let's do that first. Okay, so we gotta set down, we have an interesting thing where we have to set down the Venus flytrap. So let's add that here. You set down the Venus flytrap. You set the Venus flytrap down at your feet. Let's say that. You set the Venus flytrap down at your feet. It snaps at your toes. You whip your sword from your scabbard. The ancient metal rings through the air. The sharp twang of sound. It shouldn't snap at your toes because you might not have either you have shoes or you don't have shoes. You can't do like a I don't think you could do a check variable inside of a choice because that gets too complicated. So let's just do, you set the Venus flytrap down at your feet. It snaps. Let's say it like gets your pants, right? So it snaps, it latches onto your pants. You whip your sword from your scabbard. The ancient metal rings through the air. The sharp twang of sound is like the song of the centuries, calling you forth. Calling you forward, calling you forth, calling you to battle. To battle. To war. Alright, Sauron, chill out. These are moments. Okay. There are moments like these where time stands still. A hero lifts his sword, straightens up, pushes out his chest and his regal chin, relaxes in the moment, breathes it in deep. Heroing is no easy feat. Feet? That's right, feet. You are either made for the glory or bound for defeat. But you will never be defeated. Your sword is strong. Your back is straight. Your name will be called down into the halls of glory for all time. Sang in the halls of glory for all eternity. Boop. Little more epic sounding if you spell it right. Eternity. 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 All right. So, your name will be sang in the halls of glory for all time. An everlasting ballad. Boom. Dink. You swing your sword. Nothing happens. It is galaxy devouring rainbow ooze. You can't stab it with a pointy part of your sword. You can't hero your way out of this. You scream. Okay, so now we are back to the screaming part. You pick up your Venus flytrap and you scream. A lot. Ah! Storiel, I'm coming. Veneer? Wait, how do you know Veneer? We went to alchemical school together. Da, 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 da. Sometimes when you're reading something and you just automatically say it better, then you edit it better. So we went to alchemical school together. Together, yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's get together, what do you say? Da, 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 da. Okay. Let's get together. Okay, we went to alchemical school together. I dropped out, made that rainbow ooze. Turns out I'm a terrible alchemist. Super sorry about all that. You know, I really believe you gotta follow your passions. Flowers don't grow without some sunlight, you know? Are you seriously not going to do anything? So right here, that's that angry face of that cat. That's hilarious. It's galaxy devouring rainbow ooze. Swords won't work. What do you expect me to do? All right, let's give that in all caps also. Galaxy devouring rainbow ooze. Swords won't work. What do you expect me to do? I expect you to do something. You are a hero! But I have no idea what... I know exactly what to do. Oh, hey Reginald. Good to see you, Veneer. I go by Very Spooky Ghost now. Okay. Sorry, I'm coming. Wait, how do you know Veneer? We went to alchemical school together. Let's do... Veneer runs up beside you, panting and holding up a like a jar, and holding several jars. Okay. And then somebody says, you're certainly not going to, flying cat says, you're seriously not going to do anything. And then you say, it's Glaxy. It's galaxy devouring rainbow ooze. Swords won't work. What do you expect me to do? And then he said, the flying cat says, I expect you to do something. You are a hero. But I have no idea what. I know exactly what to do. Oh, hey, Reginald. All right, now we're back on. Good to see you, Veneer. I go by Very Spooky Ghost now. I was wondering where you went. Rainbow ooze didn't work out then? Yes, turns out the princess was trying to use it nefariously. So the next line is, she's the villain now. It was quite an unexpected turn. And let's let Stariel add in again, just in case anybody didn't remember. And I am devastated, heart broken. My head is drooping like an orchid. What's the one flowers? What are those orange flowers? We could put a lily, like a lily in a drought. She was my water, my life. Like a lily in a drought? What are those orange? It's not a lily. Y'all gotta help me here. Let's look it up and find out. Let's say orange. Whoa, types of flower bushes. Orange. That's not working. Let's do it here. Orange. Lily. It is an orange lily. Huh. That is exactly what I was thinking. Alright, let's put it in there. My head is drooping like an orange lily in a drought. Lily in a drought. She was my water, my life. And then cat comes in. Could you maybe explore it later when my kingdom is not on fire? With pleasure. As I was saying to Stariel earlier, I don't remember talking to you. I rescued you. You were hanging over a vat of troll snot. I don't remember that. Really? What's that in your hair? New product. It's still really funny to me. New product? Tell me more. Now we got Josh again. Not right. Meow. And that cat should be angry again. Fair enough. You can find me down in the village. Business reference. Super funny. Everybody laughing. Oh, we gotta fix those. We got the 3 references so far. Like a political reference, this one, and some other one that I already forgot. All right. While you've been exploring the structural integrity of troll snot, the rainbow ooze, with too many O's, has reached the edge of the fairy garden. You whip out your sword just in case, and Veneer raises a jar of shadow and flame. His voice lowers as he intones, "Darkness, death, unholy night, shadows will cast out the light." He tosses the jar into the air. It splashes in an arc of unending onyx, smashing into the rainbow ooze. It immediately ignites and the shadows fly up the ooze, destroying the rainbows and dissolving the light. The remains of the ooze slithers back into the gothic ruins. Okay, so this is a terrible description. He tosses the jar into the air. So we got that, tosses it into the air. So he goes like that. So maybe it's not exactly... He tosses the jar into the air. He tosses the jar. He opens the lid and tosses the jar at the rainbow ooze. It splashes in an arc of unending onyx. This is when you use everybody's favorite, the dictionary. Thesaurus splashes, and you get some ideas on what you might do. So instead of splashes, we can do splatter. Splatter is actually literally the word I was kind of thinking of. And I think splatter might be our best bet. So it splashes in an arc of unending onyx, smashing into the rainbow ooze at immediate splattering. It splashes in an arc of unending. I'm going to use splattering there because that's what I meant. Toss the jar and it's... I'm going to say like it goes like this. This is the... I need better words for all these things. So he opens the lid and tosses the jar at the rainbow ooze. It splashes in an arc of unending onyx. It sprays in an arc of unending onyx. Spatters in an arc of unending onyx, splattering into the rainbow ooze. The ooze ignites. Usually you don't use a word like immediately, unless you have to. The ooze ignites and the shadows fly up the ooze. Also, we're probably going to not have that capitalized, so we do. Fly up the ooze, destroying the rainbows and dissolving the light. The remains of the ooze slithers back into the gothic ruins. All right, so now that we have destroyed the rainbow ooze, we can change our background back to here and back to our fairy garden. Fairy garden. There you go. And let's dissolve out because it's dissolving out. This might be the part where I would lean toward having some of our happy music. So let's do some resolve piano. We can fade into that. Cool. You did it. You saved us. So this will have the fairy garden background. You did it. You saved us. You are our hero. So what I'm thinking here is that basically we have this where the word slams into you like a super hard slammy thing hitting you directly in the chest. It takes your breath away. Hero, veneer, the hero. That is not what that cannot, there's no way that is what they meant. So let's say this instead. You did it, you saved us. So instead of you are our hero, we can say veneer, you are our hero. The word slams into you like a super hard slammy thing hitting you directly in the chest. Good catch, y'all. You directly in the chest. Bang! Hero! It takes your breath away. I like that background too, Jeannie. All right, so hero, veneer, the hero. There is no way that is what they meant. Instead of that, let's say that can't be what they meant. What they meant? What they meant? What they meant. That can't be what they meant. And then we got, excuse me, did you? Let's keep him sad on that. Wow, veneer coming out of nowhere with the alchemical solution. Nice. By the way, once again, creepy ghost when he's smiling, when he's happy, like that puckered pumpkin. All right. Did you even need to say that poem? So remember, once again, we have the fairy garden in the background during this part. Did you even need to say that poem? So he is, I think we were going with sad. Poetry is some kind of reference. Why do I do this to myself? Okay, so poetry is... Veneer's not going to call it a flower reference. He's going to make some type of like alchemical life, chemistry, that kind of thing. Poetry is the balm of the soul and the igniter of flames. We can fix that later. Of course, I needed to say that poem. Show off. I was just about to. Okay, so poetry is the balm of the soul and the igniter of flames. Of course, I needed to say that poem. Is the balm of the soul and the igniter of flames. It is the stuff of life. So he would not say stuff. He would say what? Like what would be like an alchemical word? Like it's like the base of a solution, right? It is the, or like Franz Ferdinand went for the fountain of youth. Poetry is the balm of the soul and the igniter of flames. It is the solution to life, not just alchemical. Of course I need to say that poem. All right, I'm going to think a little bit more about that, about some alchemical words in there too that I can add in. So poetry is the balm of the soul and the igniter of flames. It is the solution to life, not just alchemical. Of course I need to say that poem. Boom. Show off. I was just about to... We're still keeping Stariel sad here, sorry. Thank you again and again. My kingdom is safe because of you. Please, as a token of my appreciation, please take this... A hairball pops out of the flying cat's mouth and onto the ground. You look at it skeptically, but you've received stranger booty. Let's list some of that stranger booty. Elongate this moment, stretch it out a bit. List some stranger booty, like what would be some gross things and weird things? Yeah, right, Jeannie, that's just gross. So you've received stranger booty. The nose hair of a the nose hair of a what? The nose hair of a dragon. The scales. No. So we have nose hair. We could do things like, so things that are gross are like poop and nose stuff, right? So we already have the nose hair of a dragon. We have the tooth. Oh no, tooth is too morbid. Nose hair of a dragon. The boop, boop. This is when we're thinking. We're trying to think of things. The nose hair of a dragon. The let's say the scales of a dragon. The nose hair of an ogre. The toenail of a troll. The scales of a dragon, the nose hair of an ogre, the toenail of a troll. You pick it up in your hands, gooey, like troll snot. This is when I was like writing this yesterday going, I don't know if I really want to keep detailing this, but you pick it up in your hands, gooey, like troll snot. Is firm, but gooey, like troll snot. There you go. Okay, let's make it really gross and see how far we can go. Like Chunky's troll snot. There we go. You immediately regret that decision. Alright. Ew! Drop that. What are you doing? That is not a reward. That is not the reward. This is. Okay, so the problem we were having was we could do a surprised on that. There's not really like a shock exactly one for this, so we'll just do drop that. What are you doing? And we can then add a switch in expression on the flying cat. The flying cat can then say that is not the reward. This is with the default, and that's the default right there. They reach into the depths of their fur. They reach into the depths of their fur and pull out a gigantic red ruby. Is that the perfect ruby? Why, yes, it is. Okay, so if it's the perfect ruby, we will actually name it the perfect ruby. So the perfect ruby, why, yes, it is. Perfectly perfect. Perfectly perfect. Perfectly perfect ruby, why, yes, it is. In appreciation for your heroic deeds on this blessed day, I hereby bequeath it to you. May it bring you long life and years of joy. Long life and years of joy. Well, how about this? May it bring you 9 more lives and years of joy. There we go. 9 lives, like a cat. Ha ha ha. You're welcome. You gasp, but the flying cat presses the ruby into Veneer's palm. You cannot believe what is happening. The alchemist is the hero. Are the worlds falling apart? Wait. Doop doop. Nobody wants a wall of text. Nobody wants a wall of text in a video game. Boop. Dink. Da 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 da. Here goes over here. Let's not say are the worlds falling apart. Let's say the worlds are falling apart. It is fact. The worlds are falling apart. You cannot find the center. Anarchy. If he is the hero and the princess is the villain, then what does that make you? A total loser. Veneer looks at you carefully as he quietly places the ruby in his pocket. Looks at you carefully as he quietly places the ruby in his pockets. What does he have in his pockets? Okay, so I'll tell you all a plot spoiler here that obviously, like, Veneer is not gonna, like, keep this for himself. He's gonna use this in a way that helps everyone. But Stariel does not realize this. So that's that move where you're like, that doesn't seem very characteristic of Veneer. If y'all have been following along on, like, Sidekick Bakery or something. So we'll get back to that. So just something to remember. So let's do... The only thing I want to say is we still... doesn't seem like he's holding his Venus flytrap, so I'm just saying right here, the scales of a dragon, the nose hair of an ogre, the toenail of a troll. You shift the Venus flytrap to one hand and pick up the hairball in another. I think that sounds fine. It is firm but gooey like chunky troll snot. You immediately regret your decision. You shift the Venus flytrap to one hand and pick up the hairball in another. It is firm but gooey like chunky troll snot. I'm just gonna keep reading that. It's gonna be super gross. Pre-apologies. Okay, so he's still holding the Venus flytrap. I'm going to say right here, you drop the hairball. And then you go into the worlds are falling apart. And okay, come on. I hear Cam is making cinnamon rolls this morning. Your stomach rumbles. You could go for some frosting as long as it doesn't have that fancy nutmeg in it. Okay, so we need a better transition here because otherwise this transition is literally out of nowhere. He's got to totally change his entire direction. So your stomach rumbles. You go for some frosting as long as it doesn't have that fancy nutmeg in it. And maybe Cam will know what to do. She always had good ideas about sorry, I was gonna say about women. I'm gonna say it because ew, about women and hearts and people not listening to you. You turn toward the very scary ghosts. And the Venus flytrap snaps at its ethereal arms. You coming? I don't eat, rotted out stomach and all. Ew. Do we have a gross or do we just have we need a gross face, by the way, like a grossed out face. A rustle in the bushes saves you from total grossed outedness. Your hand tightens on your sword. You watch in confusion as 7 hairy shapes emerge on the trail. They head down the path toward the village. And then you say that. Are those... The clouds part and the full moon rises like a diamond in the sky. All at once, the shapes turn and howl together. Their voices breaking through the night. Classic. Boom. Then, as one, they turn and head down the path straight for the village. Okay, so we know they're werewolves. The only other thing I want to add right here, and then I will come and do one last go through tonight. Not the hairballs, Jeannie, not the hairballs. The last thing I would do is just come over here I want to add one more little werewolf howling in the background thing. We had it last time, but um, let's see. Just put it right here, and we might change that later. So werewolves howl in the last of the morning light. Wait, did we have we had a full moon down there, didn't we? We still got a full moon set. In the last of the moonlight. The night is almost over. Werewolves howl in the last of the moonlight. The night is almost over. So let's go back over here. Instead of the moon rising, the clouds part and the full moon shines like a diamond in the sky. Cool. Boom. We did it. Now, for tonight, all I'm going to do is think through a couple of those little references. I'll go through and read through it one more time. But I think we've gotten to where we want to be, and so we can wrap up for the day. So that was the end of chapter La 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 La. As I go through, I'll probably name that something either, probably rhododendron, because rhododendron makes the point that we were trying to make. And then I'll think a little bit more about a description. But for now, happy Sunday, and I will see you next week. Stay cool.